Good evening and happy Friday night to everyone out there watching United Hearthstone League on twitch.tv. We are back. United Hearthstone League week, or rather season 3. Back in action after a little break. We're here for the Boomsday expansion and the huge meta shifts that have taken place after that. We've come right back at you with all the great content creators and the upcoming players that you enjoyed seeing last time, plus many, many more. And we're going to see a couple of them tonight. My name is Cinder, and I'm going to be bringing you a match tonight along with, through the magic of technology, from across the big pond all the way from down under, my teammate, my friend, and my captain, Smiley Chris. What's up, Smiley Chris?
Hey, Cinder. It's great to be here with you.
Yeah, we have a flying bat in place of your camera, thanks to the other magics of technology. But so tonight we have a familiar face and somebody new. Who are we watching tonight?
So tonight we've got the familiar face is Ridiculous Hat. So people will have remembered him screaming through the league in the last 2 seasons, making it to the finals both times. The new player that we've got coming through is Audrey Kills, and I think she's going to bring some surprises tonight.
Yeah, Audrey is something of an overnight sensation. Last month, she was just following Twitter accounts for deck lists, and turns out she's actually a high-level Legend player. She has entered into the Legend ranks very, very early every month, has peaked as high as the single hundreds that I have seen. She's currently in the low thousands. And she is a fantastic player. So, and taking a look at the deck list, it looks like she is bringing the heat tonight. So we're gonna see how that goes.
She certainly looks like she's out to kill with those lists.
Indeed. So the way UHL works, if you haven't been with us before, this is an inaugural weekend for Season 3, so let's go over the rules of how it works. Basically, it's a league format, so we're going to be playing for a total of 9 weeks of regular play and then a playoff phase. During the regular season, each player has to pick 3 unique decks each week. And in the following week, those 3 decks are gone. They have to pick from the remaining 6. And then in the 3rd week in the cycle, the last 3 decks that are in their pick list are picked. So they will be playing with all 9 classes through the course of 3 weeks, and they'll do that 3 times to get to a breakout in the final tournament. Now, each match is best of 5 conquest, and since there's only 3 decks each week, there's no ban. And what are the decks that our competitors are bringing in tonight, Chris?
Okay, so I'll start off with Audrey because I think her decks are a little bit more conventional. So she's bringing us the Token Druid. She's got the Token Druid that has the Chain Gangs and the Scavengers in it, so the newer version of Token Druid. She's also got Odd Warrior and Odd Rogue.
Wow, yeah, that's she went right for the good stuff right out the opening week.
She certainly has. On Hat's side, well, his lineup's a little bit more unconventional. He's got the Tempo Shadowwalk Shaman. He's got, well, what I fondly refer to as Janky Mage Goes on an Adventure, which is it's a list that I think Savitz has posted recently. But it harks back to Wicked Good's Janky Mage for me. So the adventure comes from the inclusion of the quest. So it's a quest mage, but with a sort of elemental base. The final deck he's got appears to be Sequential Taunt Warrior, which was a deck that was thought about, or the brainchild of the Coin Concede team. And I suspect that this is its first outing. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, this deck list, it is a very, very shallow curve. It's there's some zeros in there, I think, or definitely a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s. And the original 4-drop, and the only 4-drop was Prince Valinar, but Hat informed me just moments ago he does not own Prince Valinar. So it is an Omega assembly for the time being. But yeah, like basically just 28 taunts and a quest. It's all this deck is.
I suspect he went to his collection, searched the word taunt, and started from 0 mana,
Right.
went up, and stopped when he ran out.
That is amazing. So we are just about ready for this match to begin. We're waiting for our competitors to queue up. Chris, looking at this lineup, kind of give me an idea of what's the keys to victory for each player for this matchup.
Well, I certainly think Hat's key to victory is surprise. He's got some unconventional decks there that could catch Audrey off guard. Her key to victory is probably just playing her decks well. They're super strong decks, and I think that they can fight well against Hat's slightly memey lineup.
Mimi, but that warrior quest reward is no joke, and if you can hit that super early in the game, I imagine that's going to put down a ton of pressure for anybody. So not to be written off yet. And we are just about ready. We're going to be watching a Ridiculous Hat on the bottom of the screen. Audrey Kills will be on the top as soon as we get the spectator to catch up. Oh.
Let the games begin.
And we're on. So it looks like Hat is going to be opening up with that Quest Mage. Audrey going ahead with the Odd Rogue. Chris, what do you think about this opening matchup? Is this a good matchup for the Rogue or what?
I would think the Rogue would be fairly strongly favoured in this one. It's just got so much pressure, and yeah, I don't see that Quest having enough time to get off. Yeah.
And Hat, of course, starting with the quest. Audrey does get a 1-drop early into the dagger on 2, so she's off to a good start. And Hat got a fairly narrow curve. Is this curve that he has in hand going to be good for his quest completion?
He has got the elemental there on board that will give him a spell that can potentially tick off a quest thing. He's also got the Storm Surger in hand, which will also give him more quest potential ticks. I mean, he's certainly not in a bad spot. But Audrey's looking very good with what she's got to play. Yeah.
Audrey goes with the Fledgling on 3, and at the moment, no immediate answer for that aside from maybe this Glacial Shard. But he's got 3 mana to play with, so he looks like he's going to be thinking about, he's also got the Shooting Star there. Didn't even spot that. So a little bit of defense starting off early, and Hat looks to keep this Fledgling from getting through, and should be able to answer that with the Steam Surger next turn. Audrey now opening up the Vilespine Slayer on 4, so she'll have that on 5 if she needs to answer any minion on Hat's side, and just goes ahead and decides to deal with the Arcane Artificer. What's she thinking there, do you think, Chris?
Well, I think by getting rid of the Artificer, she's worried about Hat gaining additional armor, but I personally would have gone for the 2-attack minion there to just protect your Fledgling a little bit more. Force him to hero power it down and waste his mana on that.
Yeah, it is a little early in the mana curve. It's not as if Hat could have gotten off a huge spell for a huge armor gain. So, but yeah, I can understand respecting the armor gain potential. Now she's heading for the face with that poison dagger. Goes ahead and plays the Blood Knight without any buffs, because there's probably not going to be any Divine Shields coming into play in this match, but Hat going to go ahead and start playing out these Sorcerer's Apprentices for Flame Geyser, Coin, Hero Power. That's actually a lot of pressure on the board all of a sudden for a Ridiculous Hat. Do you think Audrey should have traded into that Steam Surger with the dagger?
I do think she should have done that last turn. She's going to end up taking an additional, 5 or 10 damage because of that. I mean, she might Vilespine it now, but that still leaves up the 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices, and she's probably going to have to attack one of those with her dagger now.
And that's exactly what she's going to do, taking a little bit of face damage. Usually okay for Rogue, and now that Vilespine's created a nice board swing for Audrey. Tar Creeper, though, going to protect Hat's face Though Hat's starting to run out of gas. Not much in the hand for the mage. He's going to need to hit some card draw pretty soon, I think. And Audrey, though, has a power turn coming up. What do you like here, Chris?
Yeah, I like the giggling this turn and then heading into to buffing up some minions with the
Fungal?
I'm forgetting its name now.
Fungal Enchanter?
The other 5-drop.
There you
yeah,
go.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think this plays strongly on her. Now Hat probably needs to pick up his card draw spell pretty soon, otherwise he's going to be stalled out trying to get through his.
Yep, and Audrey not going to be able to, or Audrey protecting the face here with that Giggling Inventor, and she's going to be able to have this board stick for that fungal enchanter on 8, and really enough mana for both that Cold Blood and a new dagger. That's a ton of damage coming in for Audrey. Although after that, Chris, after that, she looks like she might be gassing out though. So is this going to be enough to sustain her to finish off the game?
Well, possibly. I think I think that if she can keep this board up, that's a lot of damage coming in over 2 turns, and Hat's not playing a lot of spells, so it's going to be hard for him to clear. Although Primordial Glyphs, that could be the option.
Pretty good. Well, each player draws 2. I think he's probably going to think about taking that just to get some tools in hand, because that's a 0 mana draw after the. Oh, he goes for the Fireball. Okay, so
I think he's just worried about this 8/3 here on board.
Yeah, I think you're right. He probably just wants to answer the damage just so he can survive for a turn.
Because with this Fireball, he now swings the board around in his favor.
And 4 ticks for the quest as well, so he's starting to make progress towards that win condition. However, again, very, very little in hand for Hat. Audrey, decent refill here, could go for the Baku for 9, could play out the Hinch Clan Thug and protect it with a dagger hit. Oh no, she's just going straight for face. The Enchanter is going to take out the Leyline Manipulator and protect that Hinch Clan Thug from being traded away.
I think I would have preferred her to take the 4 to face there and then keep the minion on board to go the next turn, because now it's going to be hard for her to get through all this.
Yeah, you're right. She's going to have to face tank into that Tar Creeper and trade away that. The Thug could survive after the buff. The Deadly Poison would have been useful a turn ago, but now she's going to have to refresh that dagger if she wants to think about using it. And not going to go well with that 9 mana Baku. It's stuck in hand.
Okay, let's see what Hat gets off this glyph.
Does he play the Antonidas ahead of it? I guess not. No ice block anymore in the game for Ridiculous Hat, unfortunately.
No, that's a shame. Had there been ice block, it might have been just enough to get him through to the end of the game.
Going for the Spellbender. It's a 1 mana spell to pair up with Antonidas. So Hat gets a Fireball and 1 more tick. And that last Fireball will actually finish the quest, but Audrey here is going to have to consider. With the dagger,
she's got lethal on board.
She does, but is she going to be fooled by that secret that Hat played? Does she consider whether or not it's Ice Barrier or anything like that, or she just goes for it? She's just going to go for it.
Yeah, I think that's the correct play. She went for it with her dagger. If she had have triggered it, she could have still cleared the Antonidas with her minion. So I think that was well played by her at the end.
So Audrey getting rewarded for the instincts, going aggressive, so far working out for this lineup against Hat's very unusual, very spicy lineup that he brought for the match. So 1-0 to Audrey, and we're going to be thinking about what Hat queues up for Game 2. What do you think looks good for him going into the rest of this matchup?
Well, I think Audrey's weak point is her Odd Warrior. I think all Hat's decks could have some game against that. So looks like we're not going to be seeing that yet, though. We've got the Tempo Shaman against the Token Druid there.
And good-looking opening hand there for Hat. You always like to see Kelliseth at the top of that Shaman deck.
No ramp yet for Audrey, and that will be what she's looking out for.
Ooh, that's a bit awkward. She's got the Floop. That I haven't seen people play Floop's Gloop very much in Token Druid. Have you experimented with this in that deck?
I haven't myself. I did see a few people playing around with it sort of early in the expansion, but it seems to have dropped out of most of the recent lists. So.
Audrey going ahead to deploying that Spellstone now to take some of the pressure off. Hat looking like he's got a nice curve here. Tar Creeper into Serenite Chain Gang. The Corridor Creeper could come down earlier than 6, depending on how Audrey responds to the board. And let me tell you, that Unstable Evolution is a real nice card to head into the mid-game.
Sure is, especially with that Creeper in hand.
Corridor Creeper, even the Serenite Chain Gang is a nice target. It bumps them up to 5 mana plus worth a minion. Audrey, definitely an awkward hand here for any Druid. No ramp to speak of. So what does a Token Druid do to overcome this disadvantage in the early ramp game?
Well, she's trying to fish for it right now, so she's looking for ramp. That might come in handy, though, the Plague that she just picked up. Hat's going fairly wide on the board, and had he gone wider, that could have been great. But he's chosen to go with the Unstable Evolution here and try and get some better minions.
Yeah. Wow.
Finally gets a good one there.
Stormcaller, not a card most people intentionally put in decks anymore. But a Hogger coming out of the last evolution. My goodness. 2 cards you don't see very often, but I tell you what, I'm sure he's glad to see him at this point.
Yeah, those repeated 2/2s are going to make it hard for Audrey to break through with her tokens. So. But yeah, it is a decent board for her to Plague against. No minions that are 5 attack or above, so Hat's going to have to double trade to get through some of those taunts.
And Audrey passes up on using Floop for the extra 3/4. I guess the other option is using it for those chain gangs to get a pair of 3/4s actually for 4 mana in the coming turns, which is actually a pretty strong refill since she's going into the coin here, and could even start using that Floop for extra mana. Ooh, Strong Shell Scavenger coming into the hand as well.
Yeah, well, Strong Shell is great with all those taunts on board, so I'm expecting her to coin that out now.
That's a great top deck. That's 8/8 in stats plus the body on the Scavenger, so 10/11 for 4 mana, and quite a bit of it can be deployed right away to start trading away some of this mess on the board. Yeah, that was a great top deck for Audrey. Hat's starting to funnel through some of these bigger minions in his deck. Got some big power turns coming up for Hat, but he's got to break through these taunts first.
He sure does, and if he doesn't clear these taunts off, then Audrey can use the Floop to buff them again, because it's still the Scavenger at the moment, so he'll be wanting to clear as many of those as possible.
That Flabidinous Floop, showing that effect that carries over turn to turn, a very good utility for the Token Druid deck. It can be a strong Scavenger for several turns if she wants it to be, or she can change it up next time she plays a minion. But right now, yeah, I have to agree. Another 6/6 worth or maybe 4/4 worth of buffs here is pretty tempting. If those two scarabs are going to stay on board.
So Hat chooses not to attack there with the Hogger, valuing the taunt coming out of it more than clearing off one of Audrey's minions.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice. I'm not sure. I guess he values the taunt generation from the Hogger most. But here comes the Gloop, so it's gonna definitely some trades coming in, and that swipe is gonna do quite a lot of damage on board, and she's gonna get a big mana refill on this. Soul of the Forest, very nice to set up a future Savage Roar turn. She's holding one. She could probably stand to draw the other. This is going to be a nearly full board clear. And that's second Strong Shell Scavenger from Floop coming down.
Yeah, I don't know about the using the Floop on that turn. I mean, I guess she got a little bit of utility about that, but I think that could have been stronger here. Looks like Hat's going to use the Calamos to help clear off her board. 3 damaged all minions, yeah.
Yep, of course, the Soul of the Forest is going to put down 2/2 tokens for the remainder of the board. So looks like Audrey's sitting on 9 attack plus the hero power for 10. She could push for 20 right now if she wants to, but it looks like she's going to go for the card draw.
I think I would have liked to see her push then. I mean, she still can, but she's choosing instead to Soul again, making Hat answer this board yet again.
Yeah, another wave of tokens puts Audrey in lethal range with the Savage Roar, even if Hat manages to clear this second wave of Treants. So, yeah, I think my instincts would have gone for a push there as well, but the top deck being very friendly to Audrey, putting her in a check position, and Hat gonna have to answer this with the Alakir the Windlords. Not much else he can do.
Yeah, Hattie, oh, he's just gonna push face back and see what she's got.
So 16 damage needs to come through. She's got to put 2 attacks minimum to get through that Alakir. And also, does she have a way to stop the Calamos from attacking back and delivering a counter lethal? Armor gain from Ultimate Infestation might be part of that equation.
Okay, this is interesting. Looks like she's going for the Ultimate Infestation.
So that will at least prevent lethal from coming in next turn. Threatens lethal on her side once again on her following turn. Hat.
Oh, that's a nice
Hat.
pickup for Hat.
My goodness. Yeah, that will allow Hat to almost completely clear this board of tokens. Get some armor gain in play. Calamos going to clear off the 5/5. Hat's going to reset the clock. Audrey, though, has a full grip from that Ultimate Infestation last turn. She has all the options in the world available to her now. She is on the initiative.
The challenge for her now is, though, she's used both her Souls of the Forest, so it's going to be hard for her to get boards as sticky as they have been. The play that she's made, though, I think is definitely the best chance that she's got at coming through. Hat can walk and take off a lot of those minions.
Shutterwalk going to hit the board and deliver all the Battlecry effects that have happened so far in this game, and that will include some of these AoEs. It's random coming off of Calamos, but Hagatha's is usually delivered straight. And he clears off. The Shutterwalk manages to clear off most of the board, but Audrey's still left with 2 3/4s on board. Does she have enough damage in hand now to deliver 14 points of damage?
She does. If she goes Power of the Wild and then Savage Roars, I think that should be exact lethal there.
Audrey taking her time to count it up, make sure that she's got it. I think she sees it. Savage Roar coming in. Power of the Wild, that's 12. Plus 2 for the hero, that's 14, but she's just going to add on as much as she can to make
keep
sure.
Going.
I mean, when you're at this point, you either have it or you don't, right? You just throw on as much as you can and make sure that it sticks. So Audrey now 2-0 in the series so far.
Yeah, I thought both players played that very well. They were both playing to their outs at the end there and managed to keep the game going for several turns longer than it might have otherwise. So, yeah, well done to both of them.
And I have a sneaking suspicion that Hat is going to want to showcase all 3 of his decks, especially this Taunt Druid. So I wouldn't be surprised to see... Nope, I was wrong. Going up...
No.
Oh, this is going to be interesting, though,
Let the game
because
begin.
This kind of becomes an APM match, right? Because Hat can complete the quests, but then can he punch in all the fireballs fast enough to break through all the armor gain that this warrior is going to get through?
It'll certainly be interesting to find out, and I'd certainly be expecting him to be playing true quest completion for this game. That's his win condition against the warrior.
Yeah, this odd warrior probably not going to put down much pressure and should give Hat all kinds of time to just fish through the deck and cast as many goofy spells as he can and get down to Antonidas as quickly as possible. But we shall see in the early stages. Warrior doesn't do much here, just lots of armoring up. Maybe the Stonehill Defender could come down. I think it's an easy call there for Audrey.
Yeah, definitely. Hat's got the Spellstone in hand, which is certainly something that he'd like to see early on in the game. It really, really helps with the quest completion as he plays out these elementals. So it'll give extra ticks on that Spellstone, giving him more mage spells that didn't start in his deck.
And the Steam Surger coming into hand on turn 3. Hat decides to go ahead and utilize the coin now. And reminder to folks who may have not seen the mage quest in a while, the coin counts towards quest completion. So getting a lot of value there out of the coin play for Hat. But Shield Slam gonna reduce any of that pressure that Hat might have picked up, and Audrey setting the clock down to 0. Both Artificers now coming down for Hat. I guess he realizes that this is not going to be a pressure game, and doesn't need to save that for an armor burst later on. Goes ahead and punches them in to trade away that Stonehill with the steam spell and put a little bit of pressure. Abomination, though, going to be a harsh answer for these little 1/2s. Whoa. Spellstone hits Luna's Pocket Galaxy, the legendary spell from the Boomsday Project. That's quite an interesting pickup, because that could reduce Antonidas down to 1 mana.
Yes, Hat will certainly be wanting Antonidas to stay in his deck until he has a chance to play that one, I think.
Audrey, though, starting to mount a little bit of pressure. Eternium Rover going to pick up the Mirror Entity. Good heads-up play for Audrey, playing a 1 mana before she plays Darius, so it didn't get Mirror Entitied. And she's got a nice little board going now, and Hat now actually has to answer some pressure.
He's got both the Cone of Cold and the Glacial Shard to stall out there, so it can keep the most threatening of these minions frozen for a few turns.
Audrey pinging down the Abomination to trade with the Eternium Rover. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Hat doing that. And Hat trades away the Abomination, clears off most of Audrey's offense, but the 6/2 Darius remains. Audrey going for an early Omega Assembly. This is an interesting call. Usually Omega Assembly waiting for turn 10 to get maximum value, but I think she just wants to exert that pressure now.
Yeah, I think she's really worried about how quickly Hat's completing this quest. She doesn't know that Antonidas is not around yet, and Hat still needs to draw through his deck, and she'll be worried about when those fireballs are going to start coming at her face.
And Luna's Pocket Galaxy completes the quests for Ridiculous Hat. That is a dangerous position to be in for Audrey. She recognizes now that she needs to start playing down to pressure. Hat going to be looking probably for some way to stall this big board that Audrey's put together.
I'm surprised he didn't go with Flame Strike there, but obviously feeling like he can deal with the board in other manner, and he's just going to go for more random mage spells.
Yeah, all of these things in Hat's hand are elementals, and they all power up that Ruby Spellstone, so he's going to get a huge refill pretty soon. And Audrey, with Darius frozen, doesn't have much damage to push. Can't even trade away this Tar Creeper. So Hat recognizing that he can still buy himself some time to power up in his hand and keep waiting to draw into his win condition. Ooh, Audrey deploying the shield slam now. Is that the play she needs to be going for? I understand she wants to hit the pressure, but did she want to save that shield slam for Antonidas? Because that is the inevitable play here for Ridiculous Hat.
I guess she might be figuring that the turn that Antonidas comes out is the turn that she dies. So
True enough.
she might just be looking to get as much tempo as she can while she still has some time.
Another random spell effect coming into the hand for Hat. Pyroblast. Going to be another possible part of the equation for finishing this game, but it's all about Antonidas fireballs, and Hat's just got to stall long enough to get there, and so far he's doing a pretty good job of it.
We'll have to watch this shifting scroll too to see what he can pick up off that one. That'll change every turn until Hat chooses to play that card.
Audrey picking up Dr. Boom, the mad genius, off the top, and if she wants to start exerting pressure, Dr. Boom is, I think, going to be a big part of that, so I would not be surprised if she deploys that now and sees what she gets off the hero power. 3 damage is 3 damage, it's not bad.
Yeah, that works really well to help her get through this second Tar Creeper. Push some more damage to face.
And now with Dr. Boom being deployed, the new hero for the warrior class, all of Audrey's mechs have Rush. Also, check this out. Witch's Cauldron is 1 mana for Ridiculous Hat after Luna's Pocket Galaxy. Ooh, man. This is going to get real spicy.
Oh, Farsight's not a bad pickup. That'll let him draw through his deck. And he can draw doubles.
And
that would be actually quite amusing if he manages to fish out 2. Oh, is he going to go for maximum memes and go for Deck of Wonders?
You know it. He does not draw any cards until he puts that Deck of Wonders into the deck. This was a really powerful turn for Ridiculous Hat. All of this stuff that's in his hand is stuff that he didn't start the game with, so those ley line manipulators, reducing the mana cost of all of this nonsense.
Since demons won't be getting him too much, though.
It still gets imps, though. It's something you don't see very often, but yeah, if you have no demons, it still gives you 2 little 1/1s to play down, and he's playing him down. Why not? Oh my goodness, he's going for the Time Warp? He's going for it now.
Okay. That surprises me.
I think maybe he's given up on his win condition and is just enjoying the memes, perhaps. Okay, more card draw. Not a whole lot coming out of that Deck of Wonders. The Sudden Betrayal makes a minion attack its neighbor as an off-turn trigger. And then they did get a card draw off the excess mana. So he's going to continue just cycling through to see what he can get. Another Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentices are also part of the win condition with the Exodia, as they call it, getting Antonidas down in infinite free fireballs. But you know what? He said, screw it. I'm doing this instead. But you know what? He managed to clear the board with that whole mess. And he put down this huge board that Audrey is being forced to answer, and she top decks the Brawl!
She picks up the Brawl. Now it'd be interesting to see where she goes Brawl or MC techs here, because she's got 2 MC techs in her hand, and they're probably not getting much more value than this board here right now.
Yeah, I think I would be, because Dr. Boom is deployed, I think I like just going for the Brawl and then using a Rush minion, a Rush mech, to clear off whoever lives.
Yeah, I agree. You probably don't want to leave any of those apprentices up, really. Brawl makes sure they...
Dynamatic is a really nice pickup off the hero power. It is a very, very useful card for this deck. 5 damage to the board, plus a 3 attack rush, but you can't deploy it with that amount of mana. The Galvanizer's going to help, though.
Clear up 4-2, though, with the Rover and the Galvanizer.
Ooh, but this is going to prevent her from trading away the... Oh, no, it worked. Wait, how does that work? Sudden Betrayal. Attacks your hero. It has to attack the hero. That's what it is. Okay. So good call from Audrey. Brawl into some rush mechs to reset the board. Hat running out of gas now, but more Witch's Cauldrons. He's just going to kill his own elemental to get some more spells. And these spells are gonna allow him to kill even more stuff and get even more minions, or more spells from the cauldron. Healing Rain is okay. Chris, this Pyroblast is 4 mana.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Oh, look at this, the Stormbringer. So more random goofiness for Hat. He's embraced the meme, and so far, I mean, this game is not decided yet. This might have been the best play considering the board state that he was in.
Look, I personally think it would have been a stronger play for him to hold it all and wait for Antonidas, but this is certainly the more entertaining play, and I think we should all be thankful for that.
Indeed. Steam Surger coming down for 1 mana will give him Flame Geyser. Fork Lightning combined with that's going to clear the board and give Hat a 5/4 to try to punch through this 48 life for Audrey. And you know what? Hat is just going to continue to stall this game out until he can get to that Antonidas. Because, you know, honestly, he's stalling the game right now. Even though he went with this crazy line of just embracing all of the randomness that came into his hand, he's effectively stalled the game. So, and time is draw, Chris. I think you agree with me there. And this is allowing him to draw more cards to get through the bottom of his deck.
Yeah, I guess the challenge for him, though, is unless he can stick Antonidas on board, he's only going to have limited amount of fireballs he can get off it when it does turn up.
Yeah, you're right. Glacial Shard plus Stargazer Luna going to give Hat even more card draw. There's the Antonidas.
There it is.
And next turn, he could be eyeballing that Stormbringer to transform these weak minions into perhaps something better. Audrey, not a ton of options. She's got the MC Tech she can use to steal one of the minions. Super Collider, though, can definitely do get some mileage going. Actually get a full clear here. Hat back to the drawing board. Questing Adventure for a 1 mana. I'll take that. But here comes Antonidas.
Don't know why I didn't play the questing first, but okay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it would have got an extra tick on the questing. I don't know that Hat's really super putting a lot of brain power into this. I think he's he may just be playing on reflex here, and more power to him though, because this is definitely one of the most fun games I've seen in a long, long time. And how much more does he dedicate to this questing adventure? He knows he can't make it too big because that Super Collider is just going to clear off both minions if the questing gets too big. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was respecting the Super Collider. Secret coming down as Mirror Entity, so it'll copy anything that Audrey plays, and most of her minions are pretty decent. None of those roll great, though, off the Discover Hero power.
So Hat at the moment's got 28 points of burn in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Audrey's just knocked off all her armor, so she's back to 30.
And it's 28 is very, very close, and Audrey is not hit the armor hero power from Dr. Boom at all that I can remember seeing. And the Super Collider is causing Audrey to lose all of that health that she had stocked up. So she's getting pretty close to the danger zone here. I don't think she realizes that. I mean, she probably doesn't. Who could possibly guess that you have a 4-mana Pyroblast hanging out all the way at the left side of the hand.
Exactly. I'd like to see Hat start just throwing this burn at face here and just hoping she doesn't hit the armor.
It looks like he's going for the Stormbringer to try and put some minion pressure on the board. Oh my goodness. That's 2 more damage. That's now lethal range, but she did get the armor hero power. Oh, and she got Zilliax off the top, which will allow her to heal to top off her life to 30. So she balances this with possibly face tanking a little bit more with that Super Collider to clear both. Nope, she's gonna go for the trade. Probably not the result she was looking for there. I think she was trying to set up a Super Collider hit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she could still go with the Super Collider and then have gone with the Dynamatic after the Super Collider, and that would have cleared both minions there. Now she'll just have to clear it with a 3/4.
Well, the blast shield comes into play to set her to 35, so she's now out of lethal range. Dr. Morrigan coming back to create some more pressure.
And that's just going to keep coming back for Hat now, so that's actually going to be quite good for him as he nears the end of his deck here. Unless Audrey can find a silence for that.
Oh, the Dynamatic, though, going to do the 5 points of damage to clear it out. Swaps out for Aragal. Now, if correct me if I'm wrong, but if there are no more minions in the deck, then Morrigan just dies, right? She does not come back.
I have actually not seen that interaction, so looks like we'll definitely be seeing it soon.
UHL exploring the limits of Hearthstone RNG for science. Hat going with the only line he has left here, just continuing to play Morrigan to try and put down enough pressure to put Audrey in lethal range for all of that burn in hand. She's going to top off with Zilliax.
And that life still put her back up to 30.
There she goes. She just dies. Yeah. I guess that there's the death rattle condition can't be met, so she just dies, and that no more minion pressure now for Hat. This might be the end of the game for Ridiculous Hat. I think he has no more paths out. Oh, the last scroll, Bloodlust.
Oh, what a shame.
Not gonna do it. So he's just gonna deploy the rest of this this burn, and I don't think Fatigue is ever going to come into play with Audrey with 10 cards left in hand, but he's just going to play it out.
Yeah. He does have the Healing Rain, which will buy him a couple of extra turns, but I definitely think it's not going to be enough here.
Yeah, down to just 14 damage in hand for Hat. Nowhere near enough. Finish the game, and he is now in Fatigue. Tempo Big Game Hunter, Tempo Mind Control Tech. She knows that all she's got to do is just play minions now and just wait him out.
Yeah. She's probably not expecting that Lightning Storm, but I think that was still the right play there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, Dr. Boom's hero power just continues to create more and more minions without having to expend any cards, so she can just continue to apply incremental pressure and just keep this going for as long as she needs to. Super Collider for a single damage to the face.
And why not, with that second Super Collider in hand, go for that 1 point of damage.
Our Hat looks like he's going to be taking the honorable death. Draw 3 and take 15 fatigue damage. That's going to do it. Audrey in her very first match, her debut match for United Hearthstone League, she sweeps former champion Ridiculous Hat and two-time finalist Ridiculous Hat. So huge congrats to Audrey. Chris, I want to hear a little bit of breakdown of that set from you while I try and drag our one or two players into an interview.
Sure. So we had Audrey come out strong with the rogue, her odd rogue beating Ridiculous Hat's mage, the Quest Elemental Mage. Then we had quite a close game in the Token Druid versus the Tempo Shuttlewalk Shaman, with Hat trying his best, but Audrey overcoming in the end with some good play there. And then the last game that we just saw was the Mage again from Hat embracing the randomness, the RNG that came with that Mage deck, and not being able to quite get enough burn to put down the odd warrior with all its armor in the end. So, yeah, I think some great plays from Audrey there, and some really solid decks. So I'm really excited to see what she can bring to the rest of the UHL season.
And I think that she's shown that she has the skills to play some Hearthstone, because there was a lot of good recognition in her play, a lot of heads-up things, playing around stuff that you don't see very often, and delivered the 3-0 with 3 very good meta decks. So this actually gives her the 6 remaining decks coming down the line are probably going to be more and more straying away from being able to field a full tier 1 set of decks. So what do you think she's going to be taking for weeks 2 and 3 with those remaining 6 decks?
Well, yeah, I think there'll be a couple of interesting ones. The Shaman, she could go even Shaman, she could go a Shadowwalk Shaman, whether it's the traditional walk or the tempo one that Hat chose tonight. I think they're all excellent options for the Shaman. For Priest, I think it's really an interesting choice whether you go a Control Priest or you go the Mechathune Priest, or even the sort of Resurrect style Malagos Priest. I think they're all really interesting options for Priest. None of them I'd call tier 1 decks, but I think that they can certainly win games. I think that the big thing here is that there are decks that can win games in all the classes if they get the right matchups. So she's still got Warlock coming up. There's plenty of good Warlock decks. There's Evenlock, Zoo can all go really well. Q-Block can go well if it runs into the right matchups, or even the Controller Lock. So yeah, plenty of options, and I'm really keen to see what she keeps bringing to the rest of the season.
Indeed, and I'm going to bring them into this group chat, so there may be a brief hiccup while our Chris and I's Skype or Discord call flips over to a group chat. So let's go ahead and start by adding Hat and hope that we stay connected. All right, Ridiculous Hat, can you hear me? Looks like he's loading up. There's Hat. I see a Hat face. What's up, Hat face?
Hello. Well, all of me is here.
Oh yes, I see that. So just waiting on Audrey to accept the friend request. Then we're gonna add her in. But while we're waiting for her, tell us what's going on, man. Like two-time finalist, defending champion, and you took the spice of life tonight in these deck lists. What went into these deck lists tonight?
So I'm curious to hear Audrey's reaction when she comes onto the call as to what I was playing, because here's the thing. Audrey, she hit Legend on day 5 last month. She was top 300, I think. She came in at 239, and her lineup was Druid, Warrior, and Rogue. I did not think that meta deck versus meta deck, I was going to go punch for punch with that lineup. I wanted something a little bit different. And also, you may have noticed these decks are incredibly fun to play.
They do look like a lot of fun, I have to admit. Like we saw that you, in that mage game, you just abandoned the Antonidas line and just went for the full randomness that was sitting in your hand.
Like, I didn't know how soon I was going to get to Antonidas. I was hoping it was going to be sooner rather than later, and then I was holding on to that Eureka, but I saw the board kind of slipping away. I needed to go really, really hard on Antonidas. I could have stayed for that game plan, but I was able to fill the board and keep a bunch of spells rolling. And Deck of Wonders, man, I can't resist. I'm weak. I'm a weak person.
Well, we all certainly enjoyed the Deck of Wonders.
Like, did you see the Luna's Pocket Galaxy?
Yes.
Like, what happened? What happened? So there was no way I was gonna take meta decks and go into Druid, Rogue, Warrior, and come out unscathed. Like, and I didn't want to go punch for punch with meta decks, and just like, I didn't think that would be anywhere near as enjoyable as what we had today. Nor did I think it would have been as competitive, because there's no way I'm gonna get a leg up on a competitor like Audrey with what she's expecting.
Fair enough. So,
I was
sorry.
just going to say, the one thing that that did disappoint me from tonight was that we didn't get to see the sequential Taunt Warrior.
Oh, sequential Taunt Warrior. That was gonna be my finishing blow, but like I had to go back to that mage because I knew there was more in the can there. But like, you haven't seen the end of sequential Taunt. I promise you haven't seen the end of it.
So everyone, that's something to look forward to in future UHL matches.
It's coming back.
And I do.
I really liked your mage deck, by the way.
Yeah, it's that last game. I was just waiting for like what new crazy thing is gonna happen, and every single turn delivered.
So yeah, Audrey, this was your introductory match into the United Hearthstone League. You came in with 3 very strong decks. You played them well. What's your thought process going into week 1 in UHL season 3?
I was incredibly nervous, and especially going against Had, who like apparently was undefeated at some point in time. And yeah, and I don't really play these decks normally. I mainly only play like Hunter or Mage consistently, so I was really nervous. But I'm glad it worked out.
Well, I don't think
Congratulations.
I don't think any of us could tell that you weren't as familiar as you wanted to be with those decks, because you played them pretty close to flawlessly from what I could tell.
Well, thank you. I did practice them for about 2 hours today, right before our match, and then the other day on ladder, unfortunately, my rank has suffered, but
The struggle.
I mean, your legend rank. If you're telling me you just picked up those decks, then maybe you should like go to a lot of HCT events, because I'm pretty impressed with 2 hours of practice.
oh, well, thank you.
Challenger Cups. Chris knows a thing or two about Challenger Cups. She can tell you how to get started there.
Yeah, your shaman was not what I expected either. I did not expect the Shudderwalk. Like, that completely threw me off.
Yeah, the tempo Shudderwalk builds, I've actually really enjoyed what Ike has been calling the good shaman. And, you know, it's questionable how competitive it is in this meta, but I've enjoyed it a lot, and this is the build actually from the latest Vicious Syndicate that's been doing well in the legend ranks. It's able to make a pretty decent board, but Token Druid is just so strong, even with you spending the double Soul of the Forest early. My life total was too low to really stabilize there. I was hoping for the Hagatha, but it wasn't enough to stop the double Savage Roar, because you would outdraw me by, I think, 11 cards, 12 cards at that point.
Shoo.
Still, it's those fast and stable evolutions can really keep some decks off balance.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really sad that in my Audro game, I didn't get to draw my Myra's Unstable Element, because that's like my favorite card in the deck.
Yeah, would have been fun to see you rip all the way through your deck there, but you did that
Right.
with your Druid instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
turns
either
out
or.
that Druid really doesn't need anything else but ramp and card draw to get to a win condition. Like most of the Druids basically have the same core, right? It's ramp, ultimate infestation, and then a win condition. So all it's got to do is get through those first 2 parts, and then the third part just kind of comes together. And
Yeah.
I noticed that you're
That's exactly
running.
right.
Audrey, you're running Floop's Gloop in that Token Druid deck. It's not a very common tech. Has it been working out for you in that deck?
Like I said, I haven't played it much, but I like it. I mean, it's fun, and it can give you an edge in certain circumstances. Not all, obviously, but I like it personally.
Oh, it definitely powered up that one turn. It gave you like an extra 4 mana or so to put down the
Right? Isn't it good?
strong shell. It was pretty good. So this is the time in our little Talkstone segment where I'm going to let the two of you promote yourselves and tell us where we can find you. Where can people go to follow, go to watch, etc. to interact with the two of you now that you're big, huge celebrities. Let's go with Audrey. Where can people find you, Audrey?
Audrey Kills with 2 S's on Twitter, and Audrey Kills with 1 S on Twitch. I just started streaming like last week.
Yeah, we
And
talked.
that's it.
We talked a little bit about it. You kind of became like an overnight sensation in the content creation world. Like you were just
wow.
your Twitter was just following deck lists a month ago, and now you've got actually like a following, and you're streaming, and you're a high legend player, and all of a sudden,
Life is crazy.
right? And Ridiculous Hat, I think people are familiar with you. You've been around the block a couple times, but I'm sure people want to know where to follow you. Where you at, Hat?
So you type the word ridiculous hat into any Hearthstone Discord, and I will respond if you put a little at in front of it, or probably anyways. You can find me on Twitter at ridiculous hat, on Twitch at ridiculous hat, and I do coin concede on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights we stream live. We usually publish on Saturdays, so I'm going to go edit that show after this conversation. You can find us on twitter.com/coinconcede or coinconcede.com, and join our Discord, discord.coinconcede.com.
I personally posted pictures of my banh mi that I had for lunch today in the Coin Concede Discord, and it was delicious.
I personally got really hungry when I saw them, and I'm now upset.
And so are Cinder's dogs.
Yes, it is.
I missed the dog apocalypse.
It's not a cast with me involved unless you hear my dogs go berserk before the stream is over. So the dogs want to say thanks to the both of you for giving us a great match to comment on, and for coming on and talk to us.
Yeah, thanks for casting. It was really fun. And by the way, just Ridiculous Hat was like the nicest person. I kept asking him like all these questions on like the DMs of Twitter, and like he was so nice about it, and like, you know, helped me out with all of it, you know. So thank you, Hat.
Of course. Thank you for being a great competitor and giving me a butt kicking on stream.
Anytime.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I know it's almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and the dogs are insistent on joining the cast here. So, Chris, final thoughts for the night before we close it down.
Look, I think despite the one-sided nature of that series, it was super entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to seeing both what Hat and Audrey bring in future matches.
Agreed. Super happy to see Hat coming back to UHL for Season 3, and super excited to see Audrey bringing the heat and seeing how far she goes in this league. So for everybody, thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the VOD later. If you missed any of this, it'll be up on the UHL YouTube channel and on the saved videos on Twitch. And for everybody here and the doggos, good night. See you next time.